Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Wednesday, hump day. Let's do another little study group. Let's just finish up some of the stuff that we didn't finish up from Sunday's notes. Let's just get into it. Here's a question. Why would you go to heaven if you don't willingly serve God? So, a lot of people think that heaven is an actual place, and you can believe whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Some people believe that heaven is a metaphor, right? The Bible's just a book, and this discussion of heaven, this utopia, is a metaphor for your own salvation. How do you make it to that salvation? Well, you have to willingly serve God, and what does that mean? Well, there's a whole bunch of rules, right? Isn't there a whole bunch of rules you have to follow? A whole bunch of commandments, not just 10 commandments. There's what, 619 or 700 commandments? And you have to willingly serve. You serve like a servant, like a slave, like an employee. And if you can't follow the rules willingly, you won't reach your salvation. Isn't that what that means? So why would you go to heaven if you're not willing to serve God? If you're not willing to do what it takes, why would you get any sort of reward or payoff? And do you think anyone who rejects God or his ways would ever be allowed into the gates of heaven? You think about your own house. If you're able to create your house into your own little personal kind of utopia, and I suggest that. Make your house your lair. Make it your retreat. Make it a really cool place that you really enjoy being. And when you've done that, you've got the furniture right, you cleaned up, you put everything in the place that you want it to put it in, you did your little feng shui, and you got your place tight, you got your house looking just right. You don't want some jackass who's gonna come over and destroy all that shit. You become a lot more careful with who you let over your place, who you let into your little Garden of Eden. Heaven's no different. Let's move on to the next one. I'm not heavy-duty Christian. I talk about religion, but I talk about it for a reason, because this channel is all about personal growth. Here's a little bit of advice. Don't sabotage your life by limiting yourself. Now, a lot of people limit themselves to a single aspect of their persona. So they tell themselves this narrative that they're a certain type of person. This is who I am. I'm a gangster. I'm an addict. I'm a bum. I'm just some working class guy from a small town. They have this narrative that can be very limiting. I'm from the ghetto. I'm uneducated. And when you think that way, you limit yourself with this curse. Oh, I've said it before, and you say, people like me, the curse of people like me. That when you say that, you're literally casting a magic spell upon yourself. Think about like Harry Potter. And you say, people like me, and it's never followed with positivity. People like me always win. You don't say that, do you? You say, people like me always lose. That's what you say. Oh, I was thinking that just the other day. I had 2 or 3 things go wrong. I had a bad day the other day, and I started running that narrative. People like me never go anywhere. No matter how hard I try, I always fail. The whole world is against me. I start running this whole narrative. You limit yourself. You sabotage your success. You sabotage your whole life by limiting yourself to a single aspect of your persona. You're more than that. You're more than that one person. Sure, maybe you are a broken down guy who was divorced and your kids ran out on you. Maybe that is who you are. But you're also more than that. You may also be an artist. You may also be really smart. You may also be really strong. You may have lots of different qualities. So be all you can be, as the military says, as the Army used to have their commercials. I used to like those commercials. Be all you can be. Be more than just that one single persona that you've settled on. Let's go to the next one. You get to choose your friends. In fact, you have a moral obligation to do so. I think it was Jordan Peterson, I think he said that. I wrote that down. I thought that was a pretty good quote. You get to choose your friends. Some people don't realize that. You get to. You're not stuck with your friends. The people you know, you're not stuck with them. Those jerks, the people that treat you bad, the people that don't respect you, that have never once asked you how you were doing. You ever had any friends that have never once ever asked you how you're doing? In fact, I have lots of friends like that. And family also. And they tell me how they're doing. And if I don't ask them how they're doing, oh, they might get a little bitchy. You can choose your friends, and if you're an adult, maybe if you're a child, if you're 15 or 12, you can't choose your family, but if you're 18 or over, you can choose who the fuck you know. You don't have to interact with anyone in your family if you don't want. If there are a bunch of negative nillies that don't respect you, don't treat you right, you can demand a certain kind of treatment, and if you don't get it, you can just give middle fingers to anyone in this world. If you hang out with 5 idiots, you will absolutely be the 6th. Let me find out who your friends are, and I'll find out who you are. We'll find out the truth. Let me see who your friends are. We'll see what kind of strong, alpha male, high value man you really are. Let's see who you hang out with. Let's see who you know. I told myself a while ago, I'd rather be single, I'd rather be lonely, I'd rather be all by myself with no help and no one, if the only other option is to be surrounded by a bunch of losers who are go nowhere, do nothing, dead weights who just bring me down. I'd rather be in this trip of survival by myself and move forward. If nobody else is trying to move forward, I'll just get up and be like, see you guys. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to live your life solitary. I'm not suggesting self-isolation. I'm not suggesting being alone. But you get to choose your friends. You have to choose your friends. Sit around and think about what kind of friends you would like. And then plot and scheme on how to meet people like that. You can contact me for life coaching and mentoring, and we can come up with a plan together. Let's go to the next one. Here's what you're supposed to do with your life. A lot of people feel lost. Here's how to become unlost in life. Have a vision. There you go. Have a vision. Create a vision. An idea of what you want. Think about that. Kick it around. Fantasize. Daydream. Write about it if you have to. Write a story about it. Write it out. Describe it. Talk about it to your friends. Talk about it to yourself in a room while you're doing dishes like a crazy person. And you create a direction. You plot and scheme on a direction. How am I going to do this? Well, I'm going to take a certain course of action. I'm going to start making some moves. First thing tomorrow, I'm going to start doing some shit. Tonight I'm going to make a list. First thing tomorrow, I'm going to do the first thing on that list. Have a vision and then create a direction. I mean, that's pretty easy. And if you don't want to do that, you can perish. You'll die. Die in misery. You'll die in fire. You'll burn in hell. You'll suffer. Let's go to the next one. I'll make this the last one. I guess, yeah, this is the last one. Otherwise, we're going to get into some new material. I'm going to save that for next week. I'll save the new material for next Sunday. This is what I consider old material from last week. I just want to get it out, get last week done with. The small things you avoid collect and turn into a monster. And one day when you're weak, they will devour you. The small things that you avoid, they will collect. And then one day they'll turn into a monster. And when you're weak, when you're not paying attention, you think everything's going right, oh, the world will show you how weak that you really are. That monster will rise up and it will devour you. All that shit that you've avoided will come back to bite you in your ass, get on top of your life. It's a good feeling to cross things off your list and to feel like that you're up to date. Have a good week.